Hey guys, HW. Apologies for being late with the vid this week. I was up the north coast of New South Wales having a bit of a holiday over the last week. And tell you what, the weather was quite extreme over those couple of days. We were getting some pretty hot temperatures for this time of year. It's supposed to still be in spring. And when I was up the coast, I had one day that was 36 degrees Celsius, which was outrageous. And the winds were coming from the northwest, so there was absolutely a swarm of flies. So whenever we went for a walk down the beach, the flies attacked. But anyway, this afternoon you find me in the grounds of Sydney Eye Hospital, which is between the Domain and Martin Place in the city. And today the plan is we're going to take a little walk down to the Boy Charlton pool, because I heard there's a delightful nectar down there at a coffee shop called Oh Boy. So we're going to try that out. So we'll walk down there in a minute. But I tell you what, I'm looking over at this, how do you pronounce it, Porcolino or Porcellino little coffee van over there. So tempted to go and grab one, but I'll refrain and wait till I get down to the pool. So today it's actually quite windy. The wind is not as bad now as it was earlier in the day, but earlier in the day they were getting wind gusts of like 90 kilometres plus, which is 55 miles an hour. And a lot of flights out at Sydney Airport, the main international airport, were delayed and cancelled. Hundreds of flights apparently. The temperature currently now is 23 degrees Celsius or 73 Fahrenheit. So anyway, let's get moving. Apologies, putting everything away. Yeah, it's a delightful little coffee van, that one. I'm going to have to try that one day. Apologies if I'm sniffling a bit too. I just noticed as I was getting off the train that my nose started to run a bit. It's probably the pollen in the air for the current season, which is spring, that's getting me, but not sure. Now I'm sneezing. Yeah, there must be a lot of pollen in the air. Sneezing my head off. Let's walk on the grass here. So anyway, the high winds that we had earlier definitely cleared out the clouds. So you got beautiful blue sky now. So last time we came through the domain here, it was the afternoon or late afternoon. I think when we went down to see the sunset. And we walked from that pathway over there. Went past the Library of New South Wales. But I'll walk down to this tree line down here and then I'll flick off the camera for a little bit, because we have filmed under the trees over here before, and then I'll switch it back on as we're walking down the hill down to the Charlton pool. Alright, we'll kick off again under this beautiful fig tree as we make our way down the path in between the art gallery and the Andrew Boy Charlton pool. I suppose I might as well take the opportunity now for those of you overseas who don't know who Andrew Boy Charlton is. He's a famous Australian Olympic swimmer, and he came to prominence when he was very young, as a lot of Australian swimmers do, and I suppose a lot of swimmers around the world these days. They usually come to the fore when they're teenagers, but he was given the nickname Boy in Australia because of his young age, when he started to show his prowess in the pool. He won a number of medals over 3 Olympics. Yeah, that's right, he went to 3 Olympic Games, even if the last games he went to, which were the LA Games, in the 30s, he got sick with the flu. It sort of impacted his chances of medals in that Olympics, but in the previous Olympics he did quite well, and he got the nickname Boy after a visiting Hawaiian swimmer came out in the 20s, and he defeated him, and so from that day onwards the nickname Boy stuck with him. And we're going to go and visit the swimming pool named after him today, which I have walked past before. But just so happens that the cafe attached to the swimming pool, which is called Oh Boy, is named in a list of top cafes in Sydney. So HW's got to try the nectar down there, doesn't he? There's that delightful finger wharf down at Woolloomooloo that has all the restaurants and cafes attached to it. All the big yachts moored in there. Have to come a bit further down here before we can see the restaurants. There's the restaurants and cafes there. You can see those yellow umbrellas, hopefully. King's Cross and Potts Point in the background. So I think I've said this before, and I definitely said it in the last video. Have you been watching the Australian dollar in the exchange? The exchange rate's still dropping, so if you're planning a visit out to Australia, this summer might be the time to come. Got all these cockatoos fishing through the grass for grass seeds to eat. You'll see that I'll get pretty close to them before they fly off, because we leave them alone. We don't harass them in Australia. They're a beautiful bird, This one here, look, has got his back turned to me. He knows that I'm not going to attack him. Or she. A really clever bird, the cockatoo. My grandfather had a pet cockatoo, and he didn't have it for long because it was way too smart. He used to keep the cage closed with a little latch and also a bit of twisted wire, and the bird, or the cockatoo, used to watch carefully each day to see how his cage was secured, and it only took him a couple of weeks to realise that the cage was fastened with a latch and the wire, and all he had to do was untwist the wire and flip up the latch to get out, and that's exactly what he did. So, very, very clever bird. You'll also see them in working in teams outside fast food restaurants. So they'll do things like, you know, a couple of them will keep watch for predators, so dogs or cats and other birds, and a couple more one will hold the lid of the garbage bin open, and then they'll take turns getting in the bin and fishing things out. You'll especially see it happening in places like McDonald's car parks. We're almost at the pool here. Might have to switch off the camera before I walk past the reception if there is one. Because I only want to go to the cafe, I don't want to pay to get into the swimming pool. Look at all these wattle trees and banksia trees here that block out the Naval Yard across the way there in Woolloomooloo. You probably can't hear it, but there's someone on board the ship making an announcement now. I think that's one of those helicopter landing ships of the Australian Navy. But here it is. Here's the Andrew Boy Charlton pool. Oh look, there's an advertisement for the cafe there. Oh, look how many people are in there. I hope there's not a function there. Let me clip off the camera until I secure myself a seat. Alright, successful mission. We found ourselves a seat in the Oh Boy Cafe overlooking the Andrew Boy Charlton swimming pool. There's the pool there. A few people getting in some laps after lunch. You can see the time on the back wall there. 2:33 p.m. So anyone can come and use this pool. There's a guest pass as well. I think I read it was like, you're testing me now. I think it was like $5 for kids and about $7 for adults or something like that. So I'll give you a little bit of a look around. There's the other seats in the cafe. There's the counter up the top there. And I'll give you a squiz at something that's a pet peeve for me as we walk out. So they better hope their nectar's good, because I'm going to have a bit of a go as I walk out. Explain more when I get to that. So yeah, look, it's quite a delight down here. You can hire this space out as well, so you can have functions here, which is, I think, is a pretty nice place to have a function. Overlooking the water, the Naval Yard, the swimming pool. So yeah, let's wait for the nectar to arrive and then I'll rejoin you then. Alright, the flat white has arrived. Look, you can see my shadow in the sun's directly behind me here. I got myself a little protein ball that I've already had half of, because you'll see in a minute why I didn't buy anything else to go with my coffee. Let's test this sucker out. Yeah, it's a nice coffee. Rate that. And the protein ball's alright. Here's the little business card for Oh Boy. So yeah, nice strong taste, and unlike a lot of other coffees you get, it's a good temperature. It's piping hot, which I like. So let me finish sucking down this nectar on the shores of Woolloomooloo, and I'll join you again as I walk out, because I want to show you something. Alright, I finished the nectar. Let's walk out and I'll show you what I wanted to show you before. This is what I wanted to show you. See how all the pastries are on the counter? That is my pet hate. There was an old guy up there before, and he was, I'm going to use that to water the horses in a second, but there was old guy there standing there before, and he was about to touch them all. They shouldn't be uncovered, and that's why I went for the protein ball, because at least that was in a glass jar. So I wish cafes wouldn't do that. So it was a great spot and a really nice coffee, but spoilt by that, having pastries uncovered on the counter. I hate that. Please stop doing it. Anyway, see you soon. Alright, instead of walking back the same way we came, we'll head back to the city via the Botanical Gardens, or the Botanic Gardens. I always say botanical, I mean to say botanic. I think last time we came through here it was definitely winter, so there probably wasn't as many flowers around, but as we make our way through today we should see a bit more colour. Still got a little bit of wind as I just came into this clearing here, so it's obviously still windy. Look at the shade this massive tree gives off. I think that's the tree that's featured in the is that the one? No, it's not. I think it's this tree up here. Yeah, I think this tree here, I think that was the tree that was covered with all those pretty lights when I walked through here for the Vivid Festival. Although I'm not sure now. There's a lot of trees in here that look the same. Nah, I don't think it was the tree actually. I hear the ducks and geese going off in the background. Let's see if I can catch my ugly mug in this mirror here. There we go. Can you see me? Nectar. That was a good nectar I had at Oh Boy. But again, just a shame about those pastries. Should we sneak through this little pathway? Yeah, go on then. This apparently is the Australian rainforest exhibit. Looks like it snakes around different spots, so I'm going to get out of here. Oh, there we go. There's the whale that was part of that exhibit as well. If you've seen that video, there's all the lights are strapped down to the ground around this whale. Lightscape, I think it was called Lightscape. It was a separate show, but running at the same time as Vivid. So have a look at that vid. If I remember, I'll put the link in the video somewhere, but I might forget, so you might have to look for it yourself. So we just saw the autumn statue and I saw the winter one out of the corner of my eye. See if we can find spring. There's summer and here's spring over here. That's the season we're in Australia right now, Sydney. I'm going to have to go in the direct sun here. There's a few people out enjoying the sun. I tell you what, after that hot coffee and walking in the sun now, I'm starting to cook up. So I got a jacket on. When I left, the wind was howling and it was cold. But now in this sun here, it's warm as. These roses here. There's different coloured roses everywhere. Oh, look at that bin chicken there, he's seen better days. Or is it just that he's wet from having a swim? Yeah, he's wet from having a swim, so is this one over here. These are a bit different to the cockatoos. You can't get as close to the bin chickens, the ibis, as you can the cockatoo. So a mix of different spring flowers here. Hyacinth. Something called a spring star. Still a lot of them are budding up still. Yeah, we want to go this way. Get us a bit closer to the intersection. So I do a little bit of more filming as I come up to this intersection and then probably say goodbye to you. Might be able to hear the wind on the microphone. There's the State Library over there, which I filmed before when I did the sunset video. School holidays in Sydney and New South Wales, so still plenty of school kids around and tourists, interstate tourists.
I'm too scared to be.
Alright, as we look over at the Sofitel Sydney Wentworth, what I used to know as just the Wentworth Hotel, where the NASA astronauts who went to the moon, landed on the moon, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, I know, shocking, I can't remember the other guy's name, but all of the astronauts, this is where they stayed on their world tour. So thanks very much for coming on a little stroll today and down to Oh Boy to try out the nectar down there. Make sure you get down there when you get to Sydney. It's a great spot, even if it was not in HW's liking to see the pastries on the counter. So yeah, see you in the next vid. The video is over.